What's like the average cash collected that you're getting per month on that sales role?
Per month, I would say historically, past 12 months, it's been 300,000 a month. And last month we did 500,000.
That is more cash than I've ever collected in a single month as well. All right, Mr. Tony, how you doing today, man?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. I was excited to chat with you, and I appreciate you for jumping on for a little bit of an interview here, but excited for a couple reasons. One, you are the top performer in the group, cash collected month by month, so that's exciting. But for everybody or anyone watching this, it is October 8th. Could you give a breakdown on cash collected so far, 8 days into the month of October?
Let me look and give you the exact number. It is 126,350.
Okay, very cool. $126,000. That's really good. 8 days in, right? So congrats. I guess we'll dive into this. Like, what type of sales role are you on currently?
So I am selling high ticket like tax planning services, and then the upsells like tax filing, bookkeeping, maybe some IRS representation.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And what is average, for anyone watching this, whether they're in a sales role already or, maybe they come from a different sales industry or completely new to sales, what's like the average cash collected that you're getting per month on that sales role?
Per month, I would say historically, past 12 months, it's been 300,000 a month. Um, we've done some work to optimize the offer, and last month we did 500,000. Just me personally in cash collected. So this month looks like it might be on track for similar.
Yeah, which is a record for you. I know 500K in a month. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, that is more cash than I've ever collected in a single month as well. I think I topped off at about 440K. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's really good. That just came to mind right now. But very cool. For anyone watching this, just so you understand, like cash collected is one thing. Obviously, with salespeople, we get commission out of the cash collected, which could vary. Your average is about 10% of the cash collected, but it could go from anywhere from 5 to 15% depending on the offer you're on. So you could kind of do the math. Hey, if you collect 500K at minimum, you could be making like 20, 25K at most, anywhere up to $70,000 in a single month, which is cool. But cool, man. You've been in the group for some time. If you don't mind me asking, what was, I guess, life like for yourself sales wise before coming into the group?
Prior coming into the group, I would say I was on an island. So I was the first salesperson that took things over from the owner. I'm still the only salesperson on the offer. And so that feedback loop is pretty quiet. So getting some perspective from yourself, from some of the other trainers inside of the group, let me see, it gave me a lot of confidence, honestly, on what my skill set is at. And then, a few months after that, hitting record months, a lot of really good feedback. Amazingly, I didn't have a lot of problems necessarily, but there were some very small things that I picked up that had very large impact, both on close rate, just how the conversations go. I mean, I save clips now just for my own self, but I have other business owners who I'm selling to inside of the sales process, mid-sales call, like pause and tell me how good the sales process is. Like if someone can recognize and compliment you on it, like something must be going really well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What were some of those things that you were looking to fix by finding any type of help with sales that obviously got you to the place where you're at now, where you're doing 500K a month with cash collected?
I don't know, right? So I didn't know I was in that island, right? I didn't know what I needed to improve. I wasn't getting any feedback. And so I had spent a good amount of time looking for the right fit. And so I had been on several discovery calls before you and I had talked. And honestly, I kind of hung up halfway through. Just the level, how they approached the sales call, it felt gross. It didn't feel authentic.
Yeah.
And looking at your content, looking at just how you approach everything, it felt really aligned. And then on the actual call, it all lined up as well. So that was really helpful. I think the things I discovered inside when I got some of that feedback was recapping. I had gotten very familiar with my offer and I was asking the questions, checking the boxes, and I knew if we could help them or not, but I wasn't creating the experience for the prospects to understand that I understood their problem.
Yeah.
So that was a big change. I noticed then when I would recap, that aha moment would come in and they were really primed for me to hear the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. That makes sense. I want to do one thing too and take a step back because obviously you're collecting a lot of cash and you're doing really well with sales. I
Yeah.
think for anyone watching this, it always makes you question like, hey, am I able to get to Tony's level or Alex's level or whoever else that they're watching, right? What industry did you come from? Because the sales role you're on now is essentially your first high ticket sales role ever.
Yeah. So prior to this, I mean, I've spent my whole life in versions of communication, whether that be, I mean, I spent a year doing cold calling a decade ago, um, and then a lot of call center stuff. So I've spent a lot of time talking to people. From there, I did corporate training. So what I learned from there that was really helpful in sales that I feel like a lot of people struggle with is holding frame. So for 6 weeks, I had to hold frame for 20 people and not lose it once. Because if you do that, then they take over and my next 6 weeks are miserable. So
Yeah.
being able to hold frame was really helpful. And then from there, I went to instructional design, which was creating content. Um, and I worked with a lot of VPs of very large billion-dollar companies, creating training content for new initiatives. So it gave me the experience to be able to talk to multi-million-dollar business owners and not flinch.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Do you remember, what happened or what was the thing that made you kind of draw the line in the sand and say like, hey, you know what? I'm going to get out of this industry that I've been in, maybe a comfortable industry to get into high ticket sales.
Yeah. On the instructional design front, we moved the company I was at from just a service only model to a sales and service model. So for context, they had no recurring revenue on their $25 a month products. At the end of 5 years, and I was at the tip of the spear helping train 10,000 experts on how to sell and 4 different countries, they were up to 2 million in monthly subscribers. So that's 500 million in revenue. And I was making 70K a year. I saw no upside of that. And I realized, again, it's a team effort. I was not fully responsible for 50 million a month. But knowing the leverage I put into that and did not see the upside, I thought, heck, it's time for me to go test everything I'm teaching these people
Right.
and see if I can have some upside. And it panned out.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. To go back to, so from there, you were in kind of like a corporate type lifestyle, it seems like, then broke into high ticket sales
Yeah.
and then decided to find some help with coming into the group. I think you were in sales for like a full year, right? Before we actually started working together. Is that correct?
Just about.
Yeah. Do you remember if you had any, I know you were in a place to where you were looking at a lot of different training programs or like, hey, what should I get into? What were the concerns that you had before coming into our group here?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of bad sales advice out there. It may seem good on Instagram. It may seem like really flashy, but it feels, not to get too woo woo, but like energetically, it feels gross.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people are smart and intelligent and in tune with some of that stuff. And to sell to the best customers, you have to do it ethically. And so as I was going through a sales process from some of these other sales trainers, I was like, man, I don't, whatever this experience is, I don't want to learn how to do it. Um, and so, I mean, there was 2 or 3 discovery calls that I hung up in the middle of the call. And
Yeah.
salespeople, I think Sean in the group even said, like, salespeople sometimes are the easiest to close because they know they're getting on a discovery call. They have intent to buy, and you just have to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
had the intent to buy. I was excited going into it, and then just the experience is what turned me off. So that was my biggest concern. Hopping on a call with you, I was like, "Are we doing this?"
Yeah, funny enough, I did a call with Lorelai, who's someone in the group, like an interview, the same thing. She went out the same experience. And, what she said is like, essentially people try to trick you with these like psychological questions to put you into a corner. And
Yeah,
especially in your case, like, could you imagine using those like cheesy sales tactics with the type of buyers that you're dealing with every day?
yeah,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I even tried like when I was experimenting. Um, Let me add another level of emotional selling, which can work on more of a B2C offer, but I'm a B2B offer, so it doesn't work. And I just watched the impact, the resistance. Um, and so you just got to sell through logic. If it makes sense, it's there. The offer is good enough. People will say yes. You don't have to manipulate people into something they don't need.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So with that being said, what made you take a jump with coming into our group, regardless of the concerns you had beforehand?
I felt, um, I felt like how you taught sales and how you approached sales was very authentic and in line with how I would want to continue to approach sales and deeper my experience. Um, Ultimately, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like Hermosi and knowing that you had some history there and knew some of that background. I thought that was some good influence as well. And then it's definitely paid off.
Yeah. And where's, I guess, and I know you're still in sales here. Where's life at now since you've taken the leap? Where have you seen the progression in your sales skills and so forth?
Yeah. I think confidence has been a big one. Not just inside of sales, but just in my life. Like my girlfriend commented today saying that, um, as a result of, getting the feedback, getting the training, and then of course seeing the real life results of what's been possible. She's like, you just carry yourself differently, which is super cool. Like you can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I think that was one of the first things I told you too. When we started working together, was like, yeah, there was some stuff to get better at and so forth. But overall, you definitely had like all the natural intangibles and you were right there to where, look at last month, you did 500K in a single month. That's extremely good. Yeah. I think your text was that it's insane that I had $500,000 flow through me in a single month.
Yeah. Like when I put it that way, it's like, heck, I probably should start my own thing and see more of that upside. Dang.
Yes. Yeah. That's another thing, for even you or other people watching this, what I always harp on is like sell to get out of sales in some ways, right? So like sell to make enough money to stack cash to learn the skill set to do something bigger with yourself. And I think you're right there to where my follow up response is like, yeah, now we need $500,000 flowing through you into your account rather than, for you at a company.
Yeah. And not just a percentage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Well, I appreciate you, Tony. And, as always, we'll chat soon here.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you.